From under the ground, somewhere in Honolulu, Hawaii, I'm Shumai Shirashima, and this is Doom Business. Hello folks, welcome to the show.
Oh, hello,
I have with
Shumai.
me my special guest, Christian X Pac.
No. Let's just call me Christian for now.
Alright. Well,
or Dr. X-Pac.
so we hear that you have a guest for us tonight, and we're going to be talking about time travel.
I sent you some notes. Didn't you get those?
We have been corresponding via Facebook messages.
We have a special interview guest.
They were very cryptic messages. You weren't very clear. You just kept saying special guest, don't worry about it.
Right, well, I usually only use the new MySpace now, so...
Oh, you've been sending me...
was not able to...
I have not been on mine for months.
Oh, just look it up, search for it on Bing.
Huh. Well, it doesn't matter now. You're here. Tell me what you got for us tonight.
We have a very special guest named... what's his name again? Let me check my notes here.
Check your Facebook.
Let me just check my
It
notes.
says Chrononaut X.
He's Chrononaut X.
Chrononaut X.
Can we get him on the phone here? Let me just press this. Let me just press this button.
Well, you're the contact between me and
Hello?
this guy.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, this is Chrononaut X. Hello?
Welcome to the show, Chrononaut.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So,
Is your name
So,
really
what do you
Chrononaut,
have
or
for-
did you...
wait, what's that
Did you have a
sound?
question
Did you
for
want,
me?
Okay, wait, hold on, guys. Hold on. So, where are you reporting from, Chrononaut?
Oh, I cannot divulge my location due to my security permits and risks.
Oh, I see. I understand. That's totally fine. All I want to know is what you have for us in terms of time travel, you say?
Yes, I do know a lot about time travel. I myself have never been involved in the time travel business per se. However, I do know a lot of people who have gone back in time, gone forwards in time, and gone into other dimensions.
Now, what proof do you have? Or do you have any proof? Or is proof impossible at this
Well,
point?
proof is rather difficult
What
to come
can we
around.
go on to make sure that you're not just some crazy person?
You see, how reality operates and how time travel is that you can never truly go forward in time or backwards. You can only go to a representation thereof. So even if I were to present some sort of proof, let's say a mercury dime from like the 1800s, that really wouldn't be proof enough for most people. I am pretty much an expert. I mean, the government had called me in a few times to take care of their different time travel issues that they have. So,
The government.
yes, that's all I can really say about that. Although I cannot divulge too much about myself or my role in these top secret government projects.
I would love to hear about your government projects.
Well,
Well,
as far as I can
I've
say,
been involved in some myself, as you know.
Let me tell you right now, before we begin with your stories, how I respect you. Thank you for
thank
visiting.
you. Yes, thank you.
And I will try, with all my power, not to try to extract anything personal from you that would upset
Yes,
you.
that would be. I'd be very grateful for that. I'd appreciate that very much.
This is a professional show. We do things the right way. Just tell your story, and we'll be all okay.
Yes. Well, to begin with, I was called in on a project. This project, I think, is somewhat well known. It's called Project Dreamland. If you ever heard of that, it's where they decided in the future. This is a parallel world, supposedly, that I heard about. They decided that they needed documents, so they sent out these people called time finders to retrieve these documents, these critical documents that they needed in the future time-space. If you get what I'm talking about.
I do.
And were you traveling to other worlds then?
No, I wasn't traveling. I was merely directing the project. You know.
Directing? Oh, okay.
You were the director.
So, do these
No,
people...
I wasn't actually directing it. I was just there for consultation purposes.
Oh, like Ingo Swann and his remote viewing.
I read that
No, actually,
book,
he
by
was-
the way.
Oh, penetration.
What's that about penetration?
This is a whole different... No, this is not...
Penetration,
this
yes.
is all,
Penetration happens.
Actually, this is
area
somewhat...
is quite sensitive sometimes.
This is somewhat related, but... So, when you're... I don't know what you call them. When your men and women went back in time, or back to the parallel universe, was it mentally or physically?
These were physical trips. As a matter of fact...
Really? Physical trips?
I believe that there was a... I wouldn't call him so much a chrononaut, but as I call myself, but I'd say that he was more of a subject that had to go back in time to retrieve some documents. It was from the 1800s. He said that he had to retrieve the documents. His name's Time Finder. You might be able to find him on the YouTube actually. Time Finder 2042. That's actually the year he was from.
Is this a real video or a real account?
Yeah, it's an upload there.
Interesting.
I'm writing this down.
Your audience, if they would want to, they could actually go there and see some of the evidence that he has left behind. His time travel device worked somewhat strangely, a little bit different than normal time travel devices in that he could travel along our timeline, whereas most time travel devices can only travel into other dimensions that look and appear to be either the past or the future. Time Finder himself, from what I gather, he uses antimatter in the form of a microwave. So apparently he stands in front of a microwave with two cylindrical rods to each side of him, and grabbing them, he says very, I think he programs the computer. I'm not exactly certain, but that sends him back into the time period that he wants to go to in an instant. It gives him a headache.
So you're saying a microwave oven
Yes.
has rods.
Yes, rods coming out of them.
And he grabs the rods.
Yeah, and shakes them vigorously, from what I understand.
He double hands the rods.
Yes, yes.
My understanding is you should never stand in front of a microwave when it's on, even though it has a window.
You know, that's true. That's
but
true.
why is there a window? It should just be a solid block of plastic.
That would be safer, but how would you know if your food's done? Like,
well, it beeps.
Hopefully.
It beeps. I mean, it's the machine's job, right?
Now, Mr. Chrononaut.
X.
Yes.
I'll just call you Mr. X2 for now.
In
Yes,
your
Chrononaut would be
understanding,
fine. Oh, yes.
Chrononaut it is then.
is this Time Finder legitimate? Now, this person has nothing to do with us.
No,
we don't
nothing,
know anything
nothing
about
to
him.
do with any of us.
This YouTube channel we've never heard of before, except that you mentioned it just now.
Yes.
I'll definitely check it out.
It is because I used to work on these government projects, and he was one that was very, I would say like a loose cannon. We always kind of knew that he might go rogue, but apparently he did so. I don't know of his current location right now, because he hasn't checked in about a month or so. So something could have happened to him. He could have just used the machine to go backwards or forward somewhere in time. We can't be certain about it. But
Were you involved in the Montauk experiment?
not me personally, but I have heard many accounts of that, and I believe it's completely 100% true.
So you agree with Al Bielek
Of course I do.
and Duncan and all those guys?
Yes.
Do you agree with Johnny...
Johnny who? Johnny Five?
Who's that?
I'm sorry, I just remembered I'm not supposed to say anything about that person's last name.
Oh,
please, just ignore that.
Apparently it was
Yes.
hilarious to you. Huh.
Johnny Five.
Well, I don't know what's so funny, but maybe you'll tell me
You know
off the
the
air.
Johnny Five robot killer robots. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, that was in... Well,
No, I wouldn't be laughing at that because that is not funny.
is it funny to you that there's going to be a remake? Is it funny to you that actually it's just a robotic E.T. when you think about it? It's E.T. all over again, it's just with a robot.
Interesting.
But now we're getting sidetracked here. I'll talk to you more about that humorous joke later. Have you ever been involved in any time travel, personally? Mentally or physically?
Well, there is sort of a difference between mental and physical time travel. Physical, you go to the place. Mental, you go there in the mind. I myself have had many mental trips through time. So many, in fact, I cannot recall how many. However, physical trips, well, there have been time slippages, I must say,
I've heard this word before.
I have experienced. Many a time when I leave the bar, there is a bar.
Wait, a bar?
Well,
Like a bar of gold?
well, the local pub, the hangout that all the Chrononauts go to. Maybe I've said too much about this.
Is this players?
Well,
It's a local. Well, yeah. Let's not reveal.
Yeah, let's not
anything about this
reveal.
bar.
I'm sorry, I said
Too
I
much
wouldn't.
about it.
I wouldn't.
But-
What did you experience when leaving the bar?
let's just call this yes, players. You said yes. Let's call that bar players. When I exited the bar, I noticed that I dropped my keys down a storm drain, and then suddenly, I was in the middle of the desert, roaming, just walking. That was a time slip.
My theory, though, or the theory that I subscribe to in terms of time travel. Now, I also agree with the physical aspects of time travel, like that is possible.
Yes.
But right now, I believe that the mental aspect is possible too. Because when you think about it, when you die, now look, I'm not a religious person, but I am very spiritual and quasi-scientific, meaning I believe in energy. Everything has an energy to it. Like particles are vibrating, that's an energy.
Yes, the string theory proves it.
Yeah, and there's
Proves
parallel
it.
universes and all that kind of jive. So when you die, and you're just energy, you can pick and choose wherever. But also, too, though, your thoughts, your thinking, can also transcend time and space.
That's definitely true.
But, of course, it's not the same as physically, with your five senses, being in a place.
Let's talk about physical time travel, though, because that's what I'm interested in.
Me too. Same here.
Now, you said, I believe, maybe I'm misquoting you here,
Yes.
you believe in the multi-world version of time travel, right? Where
Well, it's not.
if you
Is
move,
that the Dragon Ball Z?
Yes, it's like in Dragon Ball Z when Trunks came from the future, but he came into a past that was not going to influence his own future because it was this parallel
See,
universe
that
that was
make-
created due to his time travel.
Now, people say that's false. Is that right? Because I believe that's actually how it is.
There's a lot of debate on the matter. What do you think, Mr. Chrononaut X?
Well, I can't really say because I haven't seen that movie. However,
It's a good movie.
yes. However,
Yes.
I can say that the time travel that I was involved with, I don't know about any other time travel, but the time travel that I was involved with had to do more with dimensional spaces. And what happens is once you go back in time or go to another world, so to speak, you can't really get back to your own world. You can only go to a world that is similar. However, the you from the other universe does the same thing. So eventually, what you're doing will eventually get back to one of the dimensions. And that's the way that we operated our time
Interesting.
travel.
I think of
machines.
sliders when I hear this. You could tell me, of course, that we time travel every night when we dream,
Yes,
but you mean specifically consciously harnessing your thoughts and directing them towards a time.
yes. Usually it involves the consumption of alcohol to travel
Oh, I see.
effectively. And you must put yourself in the right frame of mind.
The alcohol calms you down.
It makes the nerves.
You don't want to get hammered drunk.
No.
Any
No, of course
particular type of alcohol?
Well,
I'm guessing natural ice, which is my favorite.
I haven't tried that. I myself usually consume the Johnny Walker for walking through time,
Oh, I get it.
finding things that have been lost to time to bring them through time.
You see, that's what I'm interested in, is the physical aspects of it. So, what machine did you actually use?
Well, there was
Or did they use?
well, as I said before, there was Time Finder who used a microwave, obviously, and two rods, and then there was also John Titor, who used a used Buick Skylark, I believe, the interior, anyways, and he got, I guess, in his world, right, because his dimension is slightly different than our dimension. He used an antimatter from that Hague Laboratories, you know, the one with the super collider. And he brought back, he actually took pictures of his time vehicle and posted pictures of his blueprints of how to create a time machine online. So you could actually look up John Titor online and you could probably find some pictures of his time vehicle and blueprints of
Interesting.
his device that made him travel through time. Now, when he was in his time machine, he noticed that time had passed. It took a few days for him actually to go back 30 years, so he'd have to sit in his vehicle for a certain amount of time as the time vehicles warped the space around him, bringing him into a dimension that was similar to the past. His mission was to find a old computer that could talk to the newer computers. I believe. I'm a little bit sketchy on that though.
Well, actually,
This raises some questions.
it does. A lot of
He was
questions.
in a Buick Skylark for several days, like consecutively.
That's what I've
He couldn't
heard,
leave
yes.
the vehicle.
Well, otherwise,
bathroom, like
well,
anything.
Well, it's possible to condition your body, in terms of fasting, to not have to go and use the latrine.
Could something
If he
just
did that.
go out of the vehicle? Like if he peed in a bottle, could he throw it out of the window? And would that bottle of pee then suddenly show up in 1963, for example?
you know, I would imagine that it would. Obviously, because
Or 1693.
he is traveling through limbo, and I suppose perhaps the bottle might bump around in there somewhere, you know, and end up in a completely different place. It's hard to say.
So, his mission wasn't to alter the past, was it?
Well, apparently he did alter the past. Remember that Y2K scare that happened in 2000? Well, apparently...
Yes, the walls of
Jericho.
Jericho. Oh. Right.
Well, apparently he went back to 1975 to get that computer, and he was talking to the IBM guys. This is just what I've gathered from what other people have said. And apparently he told them about the mistake in the computers, and, well, the computer experts decided that they'd try to fix that mistake by fixing it, and apparently that stopped the Civil War from happening in 2005. That
Now,
would have happened otherwise.
I have to stop you here. I have to apologize for this. I'm terribly sorry. But if you hear that humming sound that just happened, that's my generator. It's to power up my water heater here under the bunker.
Well, it's good to have hot water. I
Oh, it
must
is.
say.
Believe you me. Now, back to the Montauk experiment. What I do know about it, I know quite a bit from what Alec Bielek tells us, is that there's a lot of Nazi gold happening here that funded the Montauk experiment and a lot of other black government experiments. And the thing that destroyed the Montauk compound was they accidentally brought in, through another dimension, a big black monster that might have been a Bigfoot, or all big feets.
I believe it. It's completely possible. The story, well, I wouldn't say the story, but I'd say the truth.
It's a whole chair
the
thing.
truth that I heard.
Yeah, it's actually Total Recall in real life.
Yeah, exactly. 100% of the mind used to create an image. I mean,
Which
it's as
actually,
simple as that.
as fantastical as it sounds, like, I'm down for that theory.
A woman with 3 breasts, for example.
She was in the remake, I heard.
Same woman. No?
No.
Is that about the Montauk chair?
But the idea is that there's a chair that can brainwash you, implant ideas into your brain. This is the movie. I haven't read the books, I don't know about the book details, but for the movie with Schwarzenegger, there are a lot of similarities between that and the Montauk experiment. Not literally, just a few interesting details, like there's a chair and there's Mars. And in the end, Mars develops some kind of an atmosphere via a large pyramid-shaped ice mountain.
A 5-sided pyramid.
Pyramids are another way of gaining knowledge through time. It is said that the pyramids, the Great Pyramids in Giza, actually aren't only pyramids on top, but they also are underneath, and therefore traveling through to other dimensions and other time frames.
I've heard that.
I heard that from I don't remember his name. He's some Indian shaman who says that there's a whole other world under the pyramids. Might not be in this dimension, but in some other parallel universe that could be. Well, it is possible. There is no.
I would believe it.
There is
yes,
no
I
maybe or
believe
could be in terms of parallel universes, because it is existing on some different frequency that we can't get in tune with in this one.
it is all about frequencies, isn't it?
Well, it is, yeah. I mean, it's one thing to imagine it, like I said, because you're there instantly, because you can imagine it. But physically, these physical bodies in this third dimension, sadly, it'll never happen. Which makes me come to believe that maybe also time travel physically might not be ever possible in this third dimension.
It's possible. I've seen it myself.
Well, before we get to that, I want to ask you more about that. But we're at the halfway mark, and we're gonna be taking a little short break, and we'll be right back. Friends, I want to tell you about the new book from paranormal researcher Shania Ramsterhausen, my friend and colleague. It's called Hot Beef Injection, America's Top 20 Best Cattle Mutilations. That's the name of the book. And it explores the mystery of murdered cows all over the great American Southwest. What is dissecting these animals and stealing their anuses? Shania knows, and so will you, after you read Hot Beef Injection. In the morning, I want you to visit viewscreenon.com and order this new book in PDF form or as an audiobook. Cassette only. And we're back. So,
Hello?
you were telling us
Yes.
about more physical instances of time travel.
Yes, there was another instance that happened. This happened to another time traveler, where he, when he was a kid, he was taken by the government, and he had time travel experiments done upon him. But his time travel device was like a 10-foot by 10-foot round glowing vortex of energy. And on the sides were two rods. I believe they were cadmium rods.
Now, are these like transformers?
Yes, exactly, with massive amount of energy pumped through them.
So, for the people at home that don't know what a transformer is, we're not talking about the robots.
Oh,
All right.
Transform.
Look, we're not talking
course
about
not.
the robots here.
Of course not.
Let me educate the audience here, because I didn't know this until recently. A transformer, the way that he's explaining it, is, if you can imagine this.
A robot?
No. It's a, imagine if you will, a tall, standing rod.
Yeah, that's
And-
exactly what they are.
It's like a lollipop that's twirled, and there's lightning around it. Okay, this might not be the best explanation of a transformer, but just Google
Well,
it.
the
Google-
lollipop really was pretty good.
Google transformer, Google images transformer, Frankenstein, and you'll find exactly what you're looking for.
Well, that was a great detailed explanation of a transformer.
Thank you.
If you can get enough energy together, you can travel through time or to different dimensions. Imagine an explosion, such as a nuclear device of some kind. Small particle being destroyed creates a vast amount of energy. Now, what you've just
The
done.
A-bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, what you've just done is you've taken a particle and you've erased it from existence, creating a massive amount of energy. And that's basically how time travel operates. You need a massive amount of energy
But
to
not-
push particles through time.
But of course, you don't want to blow up.
Well, no.
So that is the...
No, all,
It-
all,
are we
all
just
the time travel devices I've seen have been very stationary, much like a door or a window. which you look through, or you can travel.
Are we actually reversing the process? So instead of something blowing up, it's sucking in?
Possibly.
Well, that would be a black hole, wouldn't it?
Well, black holes do send particles through time, but not all of them. Only half of them.
And they destroy the particles on the other side, is that right?
Well, there is... If you can get a black hole big enough, you could possibly survive through it, but modern science does not know of any black holes that big.
It's hard to...
currently.
It's hard to survive the spaghetti effect.
Exactly.
Which is, I heard it's quite terrible because time stands still at some point or goes very slowly, so you're stretched for a very long time.
Yes.
But I have heard, well, I've seen in the movie Star Trek, The Voyage Home, where they slingshotted themselves around the sun and back in time. Can you explain that?
Voyage Home, was that the one where
that was
they're
the whale
mountain climbing?
One. That was the whale.
There be whales?
That's the whale Star Trek.
Yes, I consider that a masterpiece of movie magic, yes.
They do. People keep saying Khan. I've never seen Wrath of Khan. Maybe I'm one of the lucky ones, because I want to. So when I do, it'll be quite amazing.
Yes.
Now, do you think that the time travel depicted in that Star Trek movie with the whales is accurate?
Well, I would say that it would be accurate if they traveled into the sun, like if they engaged their warp drive to maximum and slingshot it into the sun.
Like in Lost in Space, the movie.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
they did that.
But if they went around it, it probably wouldn't be possible. But movies, they're made to entertain. They're not really made for accuracy.
Oh, it's not accurate then.
Although I must say that some of these movies that have been coming out are very highly suggestive of time travel.
I heard that actually
and the
Sliders
methods.
is pretty accurate.
Jerry O'Connell.
Oh, him again.
Yes.
What other movies do you think depict time travel accurately?
Well, I would say Back to the Future, perhaps. That's an accurate description of going into a dimensional type time travel.
I think we've learned a lot about a lot of things from
Bill
Back
and
to the
Ted's
Future.
Excellent Adventure. Very excellent.
It's the same thing, just with the phone booth,
You see, no,
not a
that
car.
wasn't the same thing, because that was time travel along their own timeline. Because we did see them later on, and that's an example time travel that we don't do, but we have found evidence that it is possible.
Now, there's a difference between Bill and Ted and Doctor Who.
Yes, Doctor Who,
I've never seen Doctor Who. I'm
Doctor
almost
Who
ashamed to
is
say because it's such a hit right now.
more of a...
Because there's a
Doctor
police
Who
booth.
is alien technology, I believe, is it not?
I have no idea.
Well, he is an alien, right?
It's alien technology.
All I know is that this guy's died many times, and it's a different actor each time.
Yes, I'm not too much of an expert on the alien technology. I only know the Terran, the Earth-based technologies. Aren't one of you an expert on aliens, or?
Well, actually, that's Christian here.
Yes,
Christian
that's
here.
right.
So-
I wouldn't call myself an expert on aliens, except for what I've experienced myself.
Well, he's just been abducted, and possibly is containing within him a miniature cylinder of information
Oh my!
that's connected to his mind somehow.
Cylinders,
So he might
yes,
have more
I heard
information
of
that
those.
he might even be conscious about
There has been a lot of evidence that I know a lot more than I think I know.
that you did before.
Just
so it's,
listen to any episode of this show.
So it's where are you getting this information from?
Those alien implants can occasionally be transceivers. They could be sending you messages.
Well, exactly. I mean, how's it feeling right now in your leg? If it's in your leg,
Has it moved?
every now and then it moves to different points of his body. First it was on his soft of his thigh, then it was on the heart of his head.
Oh my! It's migrating.
Where is it now?
I think it moved again. I have to check, actually. I don't know right now.
Now, do you document
I'm
this
going to
like in
do
a
a thorough
journal?
check later on and
Yeah,
just
you should-
try to figure out where it
You
is.
should feel all over and see where it is.
Do you document this traveling in your Hello Kitty journal?
Yes, I do.
I apologize. That wasn't nice.
You
that
weren't
was,
supposed to see that journal.
That was nasty of me.
Hello? Yes.
Oh, hello.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on the show right now.
I'd like
you're
to talk
welcome.
about one more thing regarding time travel.
Oh, okay. Yes.
You know, in Sweden a few years ago, scientists put together what they called the first annual meeting of time travelers, and they said, "We're not time travelers. We don't know any, but
What?
if there are any out there, meet us here on the specific day and time at this convention center, And they put the word out so everyone who was a time traveler would have heard about it, and they just waited to see if anyone showed up, but nobody showed up. Have you heard about this?
Obviously, this is some sort of stunt or something that
What-
the media
I mean,
does occasionally.
Would you have showed up to that?
I wouldn't have shown up to anything like that.
I mean,
Time travelers
it's-
always want to remain anonymous.
It's a little bit
I mean,
difficult.
just think about it. If you travel through time, you don't want anyone to know that you're a time traveler.
Well, you
I mean,
couldn't
why
have
would
made
you-
it there to Sweden anyway, since you live here on this island, right? I mean,
You live here in this island?
Don't you live near?
No, you said that you wouldn't talk about that, Dr. Zebo. I'm not.
Who's
Zebo?
Dr. Zebo?
That's you, isn't it, Dr. Zebo? That's the name you gave me.
Now, Cosmonaut. Wait, what was it again?
I've had enough of this interview. You people are going in directions that I don't want you to go in.
Well, hold on
You guys
here.
are giving out personal information. I've told you
I didn't
not to.
give out any personal information.
What's his name again? Cosmonaut?
I'm
Yeah,
hanging up already.
Cosmonaut.
This is,
Greg,
this
right?
is enough.
Was that his name? Greg?
I'm hanging up.
Cosmonaut, I have something to tell you right now. I'm on your Facebook via my miniature laptop, and I'm on your About page here on your Facebook, and it says you're from Kalihi, is that right?
No, I'm not. I'm not from there.
I'm actually on your new MySpace page. Oh wait, this isn't your page. Sorry.
Well, I think he just hung up. I do hope we get him back on again for that Bigfoot show.
We should try to call him again.
Well, he's your contact.
What was his phone number? 431.
Well, it's here on his Facebook.
Okay. It looks like it. Yeah, Greg, right? Was that his name? Sorry.
I like his profile picture. He's just really, really happy.
Which is odd because it's just a leg.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed tonight's program. Join us next time for Bigfoot Adventures.
Batman tries to steal my gold, drink my beers and shoot my lady. Batman try to steal my gold, whip out my shotgun and make me gravy.
And that was Doom Business, your weekly dose of the paranormal. The time is now 1:30 a.m. Hey kids, you like basketball? Well, how about exercising your brain instead? Stay tuned for Hit Mozart with Shades McFadden, spelled F-A-T-T-E-N.